but it feels like a place for safety, for community, for education, and it feels like we're in this together.
Days before over 100 people were arrested on the Emerson College campus, students filled the Boylston Place alley with educational discussions, music, artwork, and community-oriented events, collectively calling for Palestinian liberation and financial transparency from Emerson College. The Emerson Students for Justice in Palestine followed in the footsteps of students at Columbia University and put up their encampment for a collective 4 days.
Like I should be in class right now. I have my New Zealand cinema decolonialism class right now, but this is my class right now because it's more important and because I am taking it into my own hands.
Emerson students distributed a library of texts related to revolutionary causes, invited guest speakers, and learned from their professors who brought their classrooms into the encampment. Emerson student Ryan Afif said the importance of their education fuels their reason for protest. They said even in the midst of finals, students could learn from the lessons occurring in the alley.
I know right now that I'm going to learn more from this experience than I will from, I believe, some of the things I'm learning in the classroom, and the fact everything I'm learning here can be applied in the classroom, and they inform each other's work.
Students aimed to create an inclusive environment for learning and building community. They made friends with the unhoused and gave many people the space to talk. SJP partnered with other organizations on campus, including Emerson Jews Against Zionism, hosting a Seder in the alley for the first night of Passover. Some Jewish students on campus felt as though they were not supported by SJP. Emerson Hillel and Emerson Jews Against Zionism could not be reached for comment. Charlie Williams was one Jewish student at the encampment.
Being a Jew, it's not just about defending Israel. It's the idea of a safe Jewish haven, and that's not what Israel is right now.
Williams talked about his reason for protesting.
It's not just Palestine you're chanting for change in, it's also what's going on in a place that a part of me loves and wants to see better than what it is.
City officials had concerns regarding the location of the encampment. Officials at Emerson College released a community advisory saying, quote, "Commissioners of the Boston Police Department and Boston Fire Department directly informed Emerson's leadership that some actions of the protesters were in direct violation of city ordinances, which could result in imminent law enforcement action," end quote. With the Boylston Place alley being a public way, city officials called in Boston Police, Massachusetts State Police, and the state's gang unit to take down the encampment. This action resulted in 118 arrests in the early morning hours of April 25th. Just over a month ago, 13 Emerson College students were arrested while protesting outside of Emerson's current president, Jay Bernhardt's inauguration. They were calling for financial transparency from the college and for further discussions surrounding the Israel-Hamas war. Close to 2 a.m. on the fifth day of a student-led encampment, the Boston Police Department arrived in riot gear and arrested over 100 protesters. A Boston Police Department spokesperson told the Berkeley Beacon that the protesters were arrested for disturbing the peace. Students claimed there was excessive violence used. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu stands behind the Boston Police Department. She told us the following.
The risks to public safety and health were growing, and the city needed to ensure that the well-being and safety of all of our residents is always there.
Pushed me against the dining hall window and then against the ground.
Charlie Williams is among the 118 arrested and one of the last people released from the precinct.
A video, apparently I got dogpiled. I had like 2 or 3 police. They seem very happy about the whole situation.
There are many similar accounts to Williams. Students claimed they were bruised, thrown, pinned down, and dragged. Videos circulate online showing officers dragging students by their necks, hips, and arms. There are claims that one student had a broken arm.
I just shared a cell with a guy who had his arm effectively broken and was not given medical attention for some time. And same guy also had his face pushed into a statue.
David S. worked closely with Emerson Students for Justice in Palestine and says the videos speak for themselves.
They were in riot gear. They had a coordinated plan of pulling us out of our ranks in order to throw us onto the ground and pin us. Usually 3 or 4 police officers per person. I saw friends who were very small being thrown. I saw handicapped people being thrown.
Students said the encampment once provided a space for community, one they had not seen from Emerson College, something that some felt the institution could never create.
We're trying to integrate as many people from our neighborhood as possible. We were sleeping among the houseless in the neighborhood and feeding them as well, just to grow that bond, because I think Emerson really does nothing to make up for the gentrification we're causing on our neighborhood, and nothing to connect us with our actual community. So for me, we had a community and Emerson crushed it.
This sense of community remained strong as students gathered outside of various precincts and the courtroom in support of their peers, many of whom were held for hours.
Seeing my friend being held in the cell for more than 12 hours, that was like something that unsettled me a lot.
LeQuinn was one of the Emerson College students arrested.
And I got pinned down, and I got kneed in the ribs a couple of times.
Later that day, the current and incoming student body president called for a vote of no confidence for college president Jay Bernhardt. Students gathered in crowds of hundreds, spilling over into overflow rooms and Zoom calls to vote no confidence. Emerson's Board of Trustees said the following: as students graduate from their respective universities, they remain involved in the cause. They continue to push for transparency from the college and a stronger statement against the war in a variety of ways, from leaving their words of support in chalk to protesting at graduation and organizing on social media platforms. From Boston, for WEBN, I'm Peyton Kavanaugh.